Okay. All right. Like I said, we're going to go over the notes from yesterday. So you should have your notes up and running so you can edit them if needed. One thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that I type all my answers in, and I'm going to highlight them. So I want you to highlight your answers as well on your document. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So when it comes to the vocabulary terms, the first um, vocabulary that we have here is the word producer. And in the reading, a producer was given the definition. It says an organism that can make its own food by using energy from its surroundings. That means that it could do photosynthesis, or it could use chemical processes to get energy from around where it grows. Like, for example, mushrooms don't do photosynthesis, but they do get their energy by decomposing material in the soil or on a tree or something that it's going on. So it doesn't use photosynthesis, instead it uses chemical processes. So what I want to do here is I want to highlight my answer, and I'll move on to the next one. Right? Consumer definition is an organism that eats others or other organisms or organic matter. And what that means is that it is either eating living plants, like a cow might eat grass or something, or it's eating living animals, like predators will hunt and kill animals for food. Or when it says organic matter, that means that it's eating something that was once alive but is now dead. So decomposers and scavengers would fall into that category. Okay? And then the next word here is carbohydrate. And in the reading, carbohydrates were defined as a class of energy giving nutrients that includes sugars, starches, and fiber.
Wait, what was that? A class of energy that what?
That includes sugars, starches, and fiber. If you're having a hard time going back and forth from like my screen to your screen, you could always split screen it on your computer and it'll be side by side. I'm actually typing it in as we go. It also, we want to include with this that carbohydrates contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, and that's where the word carbohydrate comes from. All right. Class of energy giving nutrients. Okay. The next one is protein. Protein, the definition is a molecule that is made up of amino acids and that is needed to build and repair body structures and to regulate processes in the body. All right. And then the last one is, or the last of the nutrients is called lipid. And a lipid is a type of biochemical that does not dissolve in water. Fats and steroids are lipids. Okay, that was the definition from the reading yesterday. And then the last one is the ATP, which stands for adenosine triphosphate, which we did not talk about in our meeting yesterday, but it is a molecule that acts as the main energy source for cell processes. Pretty important molecule when it comes to taking food and turning it into energy. Okay? Alright. So, first key idea here is very, very straightforward. It says, why do organisms need food? Well, food provides organisms with energy and building materials for the cells to use. Very, very simple. Okay. When it comes to water, let me highlight that again real quick. Water is necessary for nearly all metabolic processes that occur in the body. And that's true of both plants and animals. Okay. Air provides oxygen for organisms, metabolic processes, and carbon dioxide for photosynthesis in plants. Okay. And then living space and shelter. This is an area that contains the other three necessities of life for survival. Okay, and that's just kind of a generic overall answer, but that's really what it boils down to. Okay. Alright, so describing the chemical building blocks of cells, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to list them out. We have carbohydrates, provide energy for cells. Proteins provide building materials. If I can spell materials for cells and regulate processes. And lipids can store energy and provide material needed to create cell membranes. Okay, so that's the three main building blocks of the cells that we talked about yesterday, the macronutrients. Okay, proteins are made up of amino acids. That's a simple question. If I can highlight it, I could. There we go. All right, and then the think about it. Okay, so what would happen if we didn't to our ATP if we don't eat enough carbohydrates? Well, without carbs, ATP will drop and the cells will not get energy to function because there is no carbohydrate fuel to make ATP. Short and direct answer. You'll run out of energy, put it plainly. And then number 2 here, you could pick any of these three. You just simply had to explain it. So I might say air is the most important because without air, humans can only survive about 3 minutes due to lack of oxygen before the body shuts. Simple answer with an explanation. But it could be food, it could be water, it could be space. You just have to have a good argument for one of those 4.
Wait, it kicked me out like halfway through it.
Kicked you out of what? The Skype meeting?
Yeah, my internet like shut off for a sec.
Okay. Well, are you still able to see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So all you need to do is go through and copy the answers down to make sure that they match what you had, and you're in that, you'll be fine. Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save my document. Okay, necessity night notes, answers. Okay, where does it save it to? There it is. That's the one I want. Biology and save. Okay, and then I'm going to go in here to the meeting. I'm going to stop recording.